Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am back with you today and I'm so excited to be with you. We are using the On the Horizon bundle. We're going to be making this really fun masculine card here with the wolf on it. And the bundle comes with this die set here, and it's a really awesome bundle. I paired it with Wildlife Wonder. I just think it's an amazing stamp set. It's also masculine. I love the sentiments that come with it, and both of them work together really well. So I definitely want you to check those out in my online store. I've also added the stitched rectangle dies, and as you can see here, I stamped my sentiment on those, and it's the second one, not this little narrow one, but the second one in for that particular die. Let me show you the inside. We have some pretty grass down here and then a note of thanks. So let's get started. I'm gonna put my products in this basket here next to me, and hopefully we can get going and make a really fun card today. So my background is basic gray, and it's a beautiful color. It's 8.5 by 5.5 inches, and I have used that for the core of my card. So we're going to go ahead and fold that in half, and I'm going to use my bone folder. I scored it at 4.25 inches. Use my bone folder to close that, and that's going to be the base of our card. We're gonna build a little scene over here, and this bundle On the Horizon has some gorgeous paper called New Horizons, and it's a 6x6 DSP pack, and it creates these beautiful scenes. And so I'll show you a little preview of some of them. You can see how beautiful. It's just watercolored backgrounds. They're really, really pretty. So I've used one of them today, and I cut this piece down 3 inches by 3 inches, and then this pear pizzazz, which is the backing, is 3.25 by 3.25. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the two of them together. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. You can see how even the back is absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to attach these two layers together. I'm going to stamp some trees. And the trees are from On the Horizon. So this is the On the Horizon set. It's these trees right here. We're going to stamp that in the background. So let me grab my stamp that has those, and we're going to stamp them in Garden Green. So I'm going to ink them up. That's pretty nice. And I'm going to stamp them down here. I want them to be kind of in this little area here, and then underneath I'm going to go ahead and fill in with a marker, because see how it's not really even. I'm going to make the line here. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. See how it's not even? So I'm going to fill in with my Evening Evergreen. And I'll just put it there to the edge. And that will fill in my watercolored look. I think it lends itself fairly easy. And like I said, that's my Evening Evergreen Stampin' Blend. We're going to go ahead and clean the stamp and get it out of the way. I'm going to stamp my wolf next. And I'm going to stamp him in basic gray on a piece of smoky slate. And the smoky slate piece that I'm using for the wolf is 2 inches by 2.75 inches. So I'm just going to ink him up here in my basic gray. And I'm just going to stamp him on this scrap. It's a scrap, but that gives you an idea about the size that you need. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Blend, the light smoky slate, And I'm gonna color the rock that's underneath the wolf because I want a few different tones of gray. I don't want it to stay like this. And this is gonna lighten, as you can see, mine is lighter here as it dries. So I'm gonna just come in here and I'm gonna fill in the rock. And here in between his little legs, his paws here. And we're gonna do the rest of the rock down here. I just really wanted him to be on a different colored rock. So I'm gonna go back over it one more time, making sure that I have some nice color there. And I will just let that go ahead and dry. I'm going to fussy cut out my wolf. And we're gonna start building a scene. This is gonna get attached in this corner right here, and I can go ahead and do that now. So let's go ahead and use our seal adhesive. And we're gonna put it in the corner of this card, and I want to use these two sides to gauge so that I have, you know, a decently even amount. So we'll put that right there. All right, and now let's go ahead, and I've already cut out the grass. It was stamped with garden green ink on Pear Pizzazz, and I have die cut my two background pieces here. We have this pretty smoky slate and then this piece of Pear Pizzazz. And that is going to form our little scene where our wolf is going to sit. So it's just going to be down off of the side like this. And then this piece is going to get glued right along here. So let's go ahead and get my wet glue out. I'm going to move my card to the corner here. Hopefully you guys can still see most of it. Don't have the largest surface when we're filming these videos, but we're going to use my tweezers. I like using them so I don't get glue all over my hands. And I'm gonna figure out approximately where I want to place this. About right there, because I do want this piece maybe a little higher. Okay. So right there, we're gonna press that into place. I'm gonna rub that glue out of the way. Press it down, and then let's go ahead and do our grassy area here. So I'm gonna grab that and go ahead and put some glue. Again with the tweezers. So I can place it, and that is gonna go maybe about there. I want something for the little wolf to have a little area for him to rest onto. And then I'm gonna use my little adhesive remover because you saw that I did get a little bit of extra glue on there. I'm just gonna try and take most of that off so that there's no stickiness, and I had a tiny bit here. All right. Now we're gonna fussy cut out our wolf. So I'm just gonna use my paper snips, and this is very easy to fussy cut. There's very little intricate parts. So we're just gonna work our way around. Okay, so there's our wolf. We're gonna put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of him. So let's go ahead and get those out so that I can do that. It's definitely important. I have those up here. Those are the minis. Let's get the big ones. So we want him to have a little bit of lift. So I'm gonna put here in the corners. That should be a good amount. And then also we want to raise up the grassy area. So I'm gonna put 2 there. And I'm gonna use some edges of this piece here, which is left over from the mini dimensionals. And I'm gonna cut some narrow strips, and I'm gonna put 1 on this side because I want those edges lifted, but I don't want them to, you know, I don't want them to flop there. And then I'm gonna grab a mini dimensional. I'm gonna stick it up here in this area. I couldn't put a big one. I'm gonna do another one up there. Whoops. And I think we're good. So let's go ahead and move our dimensionals out of camera. And we're gonna go ahead and attach our wolf down. So I'm gonna grab my Take Your Pick tool. You guys know I love this. And let's go ahead and remove from our grass piece as well. All right. We'll set that right up there, hopefully. I can put it down without it sticking to me. All right, so let's attach our wolf, and we're gonna add him kind of to the scene here on the right-hand side. And I want him to sit kind of right up here where this grassy part is. I want to be able to see that hump there. And we will attach him onto our card, and then we will put our grass here in the front. And we want that to kind of run along this side here and to be in front of him a little bit, not too much. I want it to run along the bottom edge, just like that. So there's our scene that we're building. The words I have cut out of Misty Moonlight. This is a piece that is about 1 by 3, and then I've cut it with the second longest die in the rectangles. From the side skinny ones. It's the second one. Let me show you because I'm just making a mess of my words. But these on the side that are the skinny ones, it's the second one there. So not this first one, but the outer one of that. We're going to put that right here. But first, we want to use this really pretty ribbon. Isn't this ribbon gorgeous? I love that it's two-tone, that it's darker green on one side and more shimmery on the other. And I definitely want that. So what I'm going to do is bring my silicone mat here, and I'm going to run a little bit of the seal adhesive right onto my ribbon. And then I'm going to bring it like this. I'm actually going to bring it this direction, and I'm going to glue it over the top of itself so that it has that little bit to hold it. Then I can place a little bit of adhesive down on my card, and we're going to sit the ribbon on that adhesive, just like that, which helps hold it in place, right? And then we're going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to grab the large. And I'm going to put 3 of these. Where's my Take Your Pick tool? There we go. We'll pull the backs off. And then we're going to put our You Mean So Much to Me. I've stamped that in basic gray on the Misty Moonlight. Right across that ribbon and onto our scene. We have to put some pebbles over here. Aren't those pebbles so cute? They're a really cool embellishment. They come in light gray, medium gray, and brown. And we're going to use some gray ones this time. So let's go ahead and pull those out, and then we're going to work on the inside of our card. All right, so let's use the light gray. I think those will be pretty. Or maybe, no, let's do the medium gray. So I'm going to start with this long skinny one. I'm going to use the pointy tip of my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to put that long skinny one kind of in that point there where these meet, so it's not so obvious that it's a point. And then we will just toggle the other 2 Oh, I knew that might happen. Let's see if I can get it to lay back down. Come on. All right, I pulled, this is why let's pull this piece off first. They're hard to get off, which is why I use the pointy end, but I pulled too hard. So I'm gonna just place this one, and then I'm gonna put some wet glue over the top. And then I will I'm gonna grab this end, and I'm gonna place the putty end. So it's good I made a mistake so that you guys can see what happens. But this glue dries clear, so it will be fine once I get it placed. I just want to make sure that I line it up on that actual stone piece. And right now it has a little white in there, but that will dry clear and you won't be able to see it. So that's that one. And so let me be a little more careful when I pull this one. I want to make sure that I really get underneath. There we go. And we're going to put this one over, whoops, right here, kind of near this point at the bottom. And it's still sliding around on me. Okay, until it dries, it's gonna be, we have to be careful with it. All right, so there is that. I want you to be able to see that white where the glue is, and that's gonna dry clear. So let's pull the embellishments off, and we're gonna work on the inside. Let's show you the inside of the card. So the inside of the card has this little green grass and then a note of thanks at the bottom. So this is garden green and this is basic gray. And I have cut a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch of Pear Pizzazz. And that is what we are going to use. We're going to use these two colors. So we're going to start with the garden green. And it's this stamp right here. Isn't this a cool stamp? It's kind of like a grounding stamp, or it's the ground that you can put under the bear. I love this bear, by the way. I did a card yesterday with the bear, so if you haven't seen that video, check it out. All right, so we'll put that right there. Isn't that a neat stamp? I think it's super cool. And then we're going to stamp in basic gray right above it a note of thanks. I think I smudged that. Let's since I haven't glued anything down, let's try that one more time. I think I smudged it and I didn't mean to. I don't know how I got that ink on there. I think maybe I pushed too hard. So there is our, there we go, much better. And let's go ahead and do our note of thanks, make sure it's wet. And I'm going to bring it down here to the bottom where I can see a little better, and that's going to be stamped right there above that. Let's go ahead and clean our two stamps. And then we will glue that to the inside. I tend to rub the little red rubber ones a little bit harder than I do the photopolymer stamps. And they make a little bit more noise, a little more squeak. Okay, so let's go ahead and see, that's good that I didn't glue it down first before I stamped it, because then I could use both sides of my paper. So we have the adhesive on the inside there. And we're gonna go ahead and center this about 1/4 inch all the way around. That looks pretty good to me. So there's the inside of our card and the outside. And our glue is still drying. It's almost done, I think. Hopefully it will fade out, and I think it will. It's a really pretty, these are really pretty, these pebbles. That's the first time I have pulled one off of there. So definitely learn from me and be real careful when you're using those. So let me give you the dimensions again. My main card was 5.5 by 8.5 of basic gray. My Pear Pizzazz background was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. The designer series paper was 3 by 3. Misty Moonlight, I used a scrap, but it's about 1 by 3 inches or so for this Misty Moonlight piece that was cut out. And then these were just scraps that I used for the Pear Pizzazz grass and for this gray. This was Smoky Slate. It's kind of like a rolling hill. The piece that I used for the wolf was about 2 by 2 3/4 or so, but whatever fits that you have scraps of that the stamp will fit on is perfect. My ribbon was about 5.5 inches or so, and then the pear pizzazz for the inside of the card was 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So I do like to give you those dimensions. If I ever forget dimensions on a video though, definitely put it in the comments below and I'll be happy to add that. So definitely check out my other videos. I would greatly appreciate that. I would love it if you shared my videos with others that you think would really like them. Sign up for notifications by clicking the subscribe button and you'll get notifications of when I post new videos. And definitely check out my blog, inkyhandswarmhearts.com, where I blog 7 days a week. So there's lots of content on there, lots of inspiration for you. And in the description below, I will also have links to all the products that I used today so that you can purchase those from my online store. I greatly appreciate your time and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!